Grief is complicated. Let's just start there. Grief sadly shadows the entire LGBTQ+ community. Grief lines this community through no fault of their own. This grief lies in the world's inability, refusal, stubbornness to acknowledge that love is love. During Pride Month, and as a grief advocate, I felt it was really important to address this. So today we're going to explore grief in the Pride community. If exploring grief is important to you in your life, then please subscribe to this channel and join our Grievolution community, where we are striving to do grief differently. Please turn on the notifications so that you'll know every time we're talking about a different aspect of grief. Hi, my name is Jo McRogers, and I am a therapist who has dedicated many years to supporting grief in my private therapy practice. While I do celebrate Pride Month with you, I also wanted to take a moment to look at the grief filter that many individuals in the LGBTQ+ community have needed to live their lives through. For those of you in this community who are not living your life as you know who you are, because it isn't safe, physically, emotionally, financially, culturally, know that this is a living grief experience. Being stigmatized, rejected, hated, all leads to a grief experience. Mental health issues, suicide, addiction, self-harm, low self-esteem, all of these issues surround the LGBTQ+ community because it has fear and grief in the base of it all. For those of you outside this community, imagine fearing life and love simply for being who you are. Are you a member or an ally of the LGBTQ+ community? If so, please comment below in terms of, have you overcome the fear? Have you met the grief? Please see this as an opportunity to support and to educate and to advocate, motivate one another in terms of living fully and loving fully of who you are. Please share your wisdom so that we can all learn better together. So the grief I've spoken of so far is a living grief, but there is so much grief that's happening in the death of people as well. People are being excluded from partners, memorials, funerals, celebrations of life because families are not acknowledging partnerships. People are being buried in the wrong clothes because their family members are not accepting of which gender they identified with. Individuals are having a hard time letting their bosses, employees, and colleagues know that their partner died for fear of being rejected, being exposed, being minimized. This is so wrong. There is so much about this that is fixable. That's the part that angers me. This is so fixable. Grief does not need to be this complicated. For anybody who's listening, though I doubt you are, for anybody who's listening that is not accepting somebody for who they are, who they love, or how they live, please know that you have now complicated this. This is now a grief experience times 2. But the secret of this is that you can end that grief experience. You have the power to end that grief. And this is a mighty power, and I implore you to use this. If you are struggling to accept and love somebody for who they are, then I ask you to please seek support and education. Don't let your fear limit how you live and love, and therefore how others can live and love as well. Honor them, please, always in their life, and honor that person always in their death. If you are struggling to live and love as who you know yourself to be, then I ask you to please seek support and to please seek safety. I see you and I support you. So I wanted to just conclude today's video to be very clear in my belief that love is love, and therefore loss is loss. It's time to acknowledge the grief of the LGBTQ+ community. It's time to eradicate all of that grief because we have the power to do so. Please do what you can to reduce the sense of loss in any community. Please open your hearts to the belief that love is love. Fill that space with love when you open your hearts. And as always, when you're approaching any kind of grief work, I'm going to extend to the LGBTQ+ community my thoughts of kind thoughts, kind words, and kind heart. Please leave any comments you may have below, but know that anything hurtful or hateful will be deleted. There's no space in my channel for that. And I ask you to know that so many of us in the world do see and support and accept. And I wish you all the best and the joyous moments that you can experience in Pride Month this June. Take good care.